So I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk about Donkey Kong for a little bit because, there's a new game coming out in a few months, and it's something that I'm a little bit excited for. Is the new Donkey Kong. I like Donkey Kong. He's cool. I played some of his games, but recently I've been kind of binging them, playing all the ones that I had missed over the many years, and I don't know. I had some thoughts about those and about the series as a whole. I played the Game Boy, all the Game Boy ones, which I hadn't ever really played before. Everyone knows Donkey Kong 94 on the Game Boy is freaking awesome. It's a pretty good game. It's pretty good. It baffles me that they remade Mario vs. Donkey Kong instead of that original Game Boy game, because honestly it's just better. I don't know. That's such an interesting game though, because it really was like the end of an era, the end of the arcade Donkey Kong era, because that exact same year, I think, Donkey Kong Country came out. Which, speaking of different eras, we're kind of in a sort of third era of Donkey Kong, it seems, with Bonanza. Rare DK is donezo. I think he's gone. But I played the other Game Boy ones. The Donkey Kong remakes. There's a remake for the Game Boy Color, and there's a remake for Game Boy Advance. And I played both of them, not to completion, but I played both of them, and they vary in quality for sure. Don't ever touch the Game Boy Color port of Donkey Kong. It's not very good. But I will say, Game Boy Advance, it's pretty solid. I liked that one. It even has some stuff that I would probably say I like more than the original, but on the whole, it's okay. It really was shocking how many Game Boy Donkey Kong games there were. I think even if a lot of them weren't technically original games, they really outdid themselves with Donkey Kong on the Game Boy. We got like 3 Donkey Kong Land games. The Game Boy Color one, the Game Boy Advance. I think the Game Boy Advance got ports of all 3 of the SNES Donkey Kong Country games, I think. But it's baffling how many games. King of Swing is another one a little later on, I guess, that got made, and I played King of Swing. This was the people that was doing Donkey Kong after Rare in that kind of weird area, which was really what I was most interested in, was that weird area. Because I had never played any of those, and in truthfulness, they're not really that good. King of Swing is inoffensive. It's a fun little game that you play in the car for 10 minutes, on your way to Walmart in the back seat, but it's not much more than that. I didn't play Jungle Climber. I don't really want to. It looks really kind of the same, but worse. The one thing that King of Swing has going for it is the sprite art. I really want to talk about that, because the sprite art for King of Swing is so good. It really is amazing, and it's sad because they never made a game with that sprite art, other than King of Swing. And it really, man, I would have loved to see that in a Donkey Kong Country game. You know, they spent all this time porting over every game they could to the Game Boy, but they didn't make an original one. Even if it wasn't Rare developing it, I mean, it would have been probably better than King of Swing, because King of Swing is just a nothing game. You know what else a nothing game is? Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Man, really just that's a game if I ever saw one. You know, I don't like Donkey Kong Jungle Beat at all. I wasn't expecting much, but I think even compared to what I was expecting, it wasn't all that. I mean, and that's not even to mention that, I mean, it's barely a Donkey Kong game. Donkey Kong really had like this problem where they couldn't, for the life of them, like, just sometimes they just couldn't make a fucking Donkey Kong game. They would make these games that would like have Donkey Kong in them, like Jungle Beat, but like it's really not a Donkey Kong game. You know, it's just nothing. It's nothing. Jungle Beat isn't awful. It's not one of those games that you want to play really ever. It's kind of annoying. It's just annoying. Yeah, it's just, that was a weird era for Donkey Kong. Donkey Konga is nothing. There's just a lot of nothing games, and I find that really interesting because that era, the early 2000s era for Nintendo, was like so creative and so like out of the box and out there, and like everything you play from that time is so good. But you know, I'm doing this Donkey Kong binge, and I'm playing these games, and I want to stop. I don't like Donkey Kong anymore. It's like, what were they doing? You know, and they finally sucked it up and they made Donkey Kong Country Returns, which, in all fairness, is a very good game. But, man, really the new Super Mario Bros. Of the Donkey Kong games. It's just, they give you Donkey Kong, they give you Diddy Kong and Rambi, and that's all you get. You don't get any of those characters that made the SNES games feel so like fleshed out and good. You know, it's fun. Donkey Kong Country Returns is good, but Tropical Freeze exists, which, as we all know, is far superior. I really like Tropical Freeze. It's really good. It's a really good game. And it kind of just, man, it makes me kind of sad that we're not getting more of that, you know? I mean, I really feel, that brings me to my last point, which is like, I don't know if Donkey Kong Country is ever like even gonna be a thing again. I mean, it probably will be. You know, they'll have like a 2D game, and then it'll be, you know, they'll do another one. You know, they're doing a new thing with Bonanza. They're doing a really new thing with Bonanza. And I'm really looking forward to it because it looks, you know, like the best of Donkey Kong. You know, you just expect like a really good game. You know, and it looks like a good game, and it looks like it has a really nice like world, and that's kind of what you expect. And you know, I don't know, I miss Donkey Kong Country a little bit. Looking at Bonanza, it's like, man, I know, like, I'm always like championing like doing new things, you know. That's always kind of my viewpoint, is like, if you can do a new thing, you should. But I almost kind of wish like man, it's been 10 years, it's been more than 10 years, like give me some more Donkey Kong Country. It's like I almost it's the one case where I would be okay with more of the same, because we spent so long, not getting those games and doing the, like, bullshit, like, Jungle Beat, King of Swing bullshit that no one liked. And we got 2 really good games, in that little time frame where we got Returns and Tropical Freeze. We got 2 really good games that were just fantastic, and we waited 10 more years, and now we're getting another game that just looks fantastic. It looks amazing, but, like, man, are we ever gonna get, like, the 2D stuff again? There's something just so, like, just satisfying about like 2D Donkey Kong. Replaying those SNES games, that was kind of my main takeaway, is just how perfect they are. They're just amazing. Mechanically, they're just, what more is there to say, really? So I think we're in a new era. I think we're in a new era of Donkey Kong, and I don't know what it's going to be, really. But, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to that monkey. But I hope something good happens. And, he's in Mario Kart, and that's good. Will we ever see Donkey Kong Jr. again? I don't know. I hope we do. I hope he's old. They don't really like to stick by their lore that much, but, he's like the father, I think, Donkey Kong Jr., so, I hope he comes back someday. I watched the TV show, too, the Donkey Kong Country show. What a great show. I mean, really, like, what are we doing, nowadays? We have, like this, like, Seth Rogen stuff. What are we doing, Bring back the old show. Like, it was really good, so, yeah.